At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV! Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
We all know about the gut microbiome ad nauseum. Everyone's talking about the gut microbiome for years, but you have as many, if not more, bacteria on your skin. So when you look at the microbiome on our skin, it's being annihilated by the products that we put on our skin. And so what it's causing is micro slits, little like what we think of as leaky gut. Leaky skin is causing chemicals to penetrate into our bloodstream.
Welcome to the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show with celebrity nutrition expert, fitness Hall of Famer, and 4-time New York Times bestselling author, JJ Virgin. JJ is a warrior mom whose knowledge and expertise have helped change hundreds of thousands of lives with over 3.5 million podcast downloads and appearances on Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, The Today Show, Rachel Ray, Larry King Live.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This show is about you, not about me. I want to help you find practical, real-world ways to dial in your health and mindset so you can finally lose that weight and feel strong and energized. Stop settling for less than your personal best. It's time to find out how to look and feel better than ever. And I'll be right here with you the whole way. Hello and welcome to today's show. I'm bringing back a buddy of mine. I've got Dr. Z, and today I've got Mama Z on with me as well. That's Dr. Eric Zielinski, and we are going to be digging into a really interesting topic. We're going to be talking about essential oils. We're going to be talking about toxicity and how toxicity can impact your weight and some of the things you really need to pull out of your diet, but more importantly, some of the things you want to put into your diet. And then also how you can use essential oils topically to help with all of this. In fact, they gave me one hack that I had never heard of before that is so exciting for helping with weight management. Something that you can both use kind of like as aromatherapy, but also you could actually use topically as a body wrap. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. I know that's not very nice, is it? You'll have to listen. But this is a great interview, and I have the perfect pair to do this. Now, I've never had a husband and wife on the show before, and it was really exciting because Sabrina literally just got crowned Mrs. Georgia. And she is going off to compete in the Mrs. USA competition. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Eric Z and Mama Z. They have pioneered natural living and biblical health education since 2003. They are the authors of the best-selling book, The Essential Oils Diet, and the founder of naturallivingfamily.com, which is now visited by more than 6 million natural health seekers every year. That's just crazy. Naturallivingfamily.com has rapidly become the number one online source for biblical health and non-branded essential oils education. And they are just one of my go-tos out there for everything around essential oils. They've really got that down. So I'm really excited to share this with you. But before I do that, I want to share this with you as well. And this is from Aerobic Queen from USA. She gave me a 4-star review and says, evidence-based health info and concise. I really enjoy this podcast because as a health coach myself, I hear a lot of misinformation out there and really appreciate JJ's experience as well as her dedication to provide high quality science-based health information. I only wish it was a little longer because I have to stop my workout to find another podcast to listen to. All right, so here's the deal, Aerobic Queen. I always thought, all right, I want to make these podcasts perfect for drive time. But you know what I've decided is I'm going to let them go a little longer when it feels right. So you're going to find that we're doing a little bit different stuff here now at the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show, where I'm letting the interviews go a little longer. I've also got once a week, I've got a cool interview with someone amazing, or in this case today, an amazing couple. And then I've also got my show where I'm just digging into a topic. So some topic that has come up a lot, I'm going to dig into that deeper. And then also we're doing Q&A Friday. So I will also be doing those as well. So again, love getting these reviews because I want to give you what you are asking for. All right. Now, before we dive into this week's amazing episode on essential oils diet, I've got something else cool to share with you. Be back in a minute. All right, welcome back, Dr. Z. Good to have you here. And we've got Mama Z on too. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes, we love it. We love you, JJ. So excited.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a husband and wife on the show. So like, this is super exciting to have you both on, and especially with the new announcement. So Mama Z, as we all know her out there in the social media world, just got crowned Mrs. Georgia.
Yes, I'm so excited. And we're gearing up now for Mrs. America in August.
Very, very cool. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about your new book that you guys wrote together, right? You wrote the Essential Oils Diet together?
Yeah, and Sabrina covers her pageant protocol. And I got to brag on my wifey, Pooh, who's about to
You
turn...
go right ahead,
She's about
Eric.
to turn 41, all right? And she won the swimsuit fitness competition competing with girls half her age. Mama Z is a hottie. And her How to Be a Hottie Protocol is in the book. And that's what people kept on asking us, Sabrina, how are you doing this after 4 natural home births? How are you doing this? How do you get back in shape? And how do you live a life that's healthy and tasty and worthwhile? And so it's like, yay. And so we're just so excited to be able to, just to see just her hard work and perseverance, because it doesn't, and you know what it's like, JJ. It doesn't come easy to accomplish the things that we do.
Well, I love this because it's going to bust a lot of myths of like, oh, well, I'm getting older. Hey, I'm 56. So as far as I'm concerned, it's 40s and 50s are the new 20, right?
Yes.
And yeehaw. And you can look and feel better in your 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s than you ever did when you start to apply some of the stuff I know we're going to talk about today. So that's super cool. And, that whole thing of, well, I had kids, so, I can't get rid of my belly, or, I'm too busy because I have kids, so I can't put my health first, are like, let's just blow those ones all up. And I know that you probably talk a lot about that in your book, because those are excuses that I see a lot of women putting out there. And I'm calling them out for what they are. They're excuses. It doesn't have to be that way. And you may not even recognize them as excuses. So let's dive into, and I think this is the perfect segue over to kind of people thinking wrong about weight loss and maybe asking the wrong questions when it comes to weight loss. So where should we be in all this? What should we be thinking? What should we be asking?
First of all, I want to give people food freedom. I mean, we really want to give people food freedom again, where we have to have balance. I mean, somewhere we've gone on the total end spectrum of the pendulum, and now people are freaked out about eating an apple, even an organic healthy apple, because of too many carbs. They're like, it's gonna spike my blood sugar, I'm gonna gain 5 pounds, I'm gonna feed my cancer if I eat fruit anymore. And there's fear. I mean, and there's fear. A lot of it is based off of just fad diets, a lot of it is based off of ignorance. But JJ, we're still recovering from the baby boom generation and before that were told that fat's bad for you, right? So you still got older people that are on margarine, and then there's like, what's right? Fat, carbs? How do I deal with this?
Do they really still sell margarine? Like I haven't been to a normal grocery store. I know they don't have margarine at Whole Foods. So for years, I mean, do they really actually still sell margarine?
Yeah, they really do. And when you dive deep into what that actually is, it's so like a rancid, adding flavor back stuff, and people are still picking up the I can't believe it's not butter, and
the vegetable oil and
yes.
the Crisco.
Boy.
And they're, using the canola oil and all of this other stuff. So it's like, we know that education is still needs to be had out there. And it, some people's pain point is through their weight. Some people's pain point is through their extra skin. And so it's really reaching people at where they're at and then helping them overcome in their own health journey so they can not only reach their goals, but be a better human.
So what is going on right now? I mean, it's you started to talk a little bit about some of these damaged fats. I do blame I mean, big time blame all of that ridiculousness about fat and being afraid of fat. But there are, I mean, let's face it, there are kind of some foods we should be afraid of, like artificial sweeteners and margarine. It's like, because they're not food.
Yeah, they're thinking food.
Right? They're not, that's not food. But what do you think? You've mentioned a couple. What do you think is going on that's created this health crisis? Because I see issues with weight just merely a reflection of, poor diet and lifestyle and other stuff going on. So what's going on?
Well, we're not victims of our metabolic function. Metabolism is no longer a scapegoat. And that's something that we hit hard in the book, JJ. Even the Mayo Clinic, for crying out loud, goes on record and actually says a slow metabolism is not linked, has never been linked, cannot be linked to weight gain. In fact, overweight people have a higher metabolism because it takes more metabolic function to keep them alive because they're so overweight and they're putting such a strain on their body. So first of all, it's just to realize what's going on here. And what really puts a burden on your metabolism is toxic overload. And the body doesn't know really the details. The body will see food, the body will see aromatic chemicals in the air, the body will see whatever you're putting on your skin as something life-giving or something toxic. And again, whether it's makeup, whether it's food, something you're drinking, something you're thinking, even the body will perceive it as very similar to a toxin like a fungi, a bacteria, a virus, or something good. So it's that simple. Reduce the toxic overload and stop the onslaught. And that's where essential oils come into play with the aerosols. And that's where making Mama Z's DIY recipes are so critical, because you got to stop putting the chemicals on your skin, because we know that will be linked to weight gain. We know that will be linked to stress eating, depression, cancer, anxiety. It's crazy when you think of it. So it's about a balanced approach, a food freedom approach to help people realize, okay, what's bad? And that takes some time. Like you mentioned, like the vegetable oils, the canola oil, the conventional dairy, the conventional meat products, the conventional whatever, all this stuff, the processed food. Like you get back into the slow food movement where you start making your own food again. You start focusing on the organics, non-GMO. You start focusing on the right kinds of animal protein, because there's a lot of bad kinds of animal protein.
I'm glad you brought up the animal protein thing, because one of my frustrations out there is that when we talk about animal protein, I keep, seeing it. We shouldn't eat red meat. I'm like, well, wait a minute. We cannot call conventionally raised red meat and, all the factoried red meat. We can't call that the same as all the grass fed. We can't call it the same thing. Like, that's crazy, So what is your feeling about, because I know we're in Mindshare together, and I always laugh that we've got the only organization I know where we've got vegan, keto, paleo, breatharians. Everyone's hanging out together and getting along, and no one's fighting over bacon. But
exactly,
right? And it's just kind of a personal choice. But what would you say to someone? Because I find that argument that I see out there about, whether or not to eat animals is they're directing it to the wrong place. It's where we really have to look at you are what you eat. So let's dive a little bit more into when you talk food freedom. I think you're talking about eating all of the right types of foods. What would those be, and what are some of the things you definitely want to stay away from?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there are certain foods that are just naturally more polluted than others. And the Environmental Working Group has done a great job on the produce aspects. You can go to the Environmental Working Group, ewg.org, or we also have the list in our book, The Essential Oils Diet. There are certain foods like strawberries and berries and kale that are just heavily ridden with pesticides just because of how they're grown in America and around the world. Other foods like cantaloupe, pineapple, avocado, banana, you really don't need to, quote, waste your money on organic, because these produce don't need to be sprayed like the other ones do. So first of all, just realizing that. And also, like you mentioned too, huge difference between grass-fed, wild-caught versus conventional. And at the end of the day, nothing conventional should touch our lips when it comes to animal protein, period, especially dairy and whey and collagen and, quote, this bone broth craze. And here's the thing about bone broth is, what's the source of the bones?
Yeah.
And this is scary. And you know this, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that we see in the market is based off of the byproduct of the conventional chicken industry. And these chickens are fed trash. And you're getting that in the bone marrow, and then you're powderizing the bone, and then you're consuming that. So to find good organic non-GMO fed is absolutely critical. And also I think it's balance. Like on the other end, we have this carnivore diet, and that's like, where do we lose balance? And I do think there's somewhat of a lack of balance in raw vegan too. It's like, okay, let's kind of go back and let's see how our ancestors have eaten, and let's see how we've thrived. And you want a diet full of fruits and vegetables and nuts and legumes and dare I say healthy grains, like good organic non-GMO quinoa. It's not going to kill anybody. But here's a problem though. Is your diet full of that? Are you eating organic non-GMO oatmeal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and having a fruit smoothie and fruit juice? Like, you're going to obviously blood sugar spike out. I mean, you're just going to carb yourself out, and you don't want to do that. So it's about the healthy balance of fats, carbs, and proteins, where you're not even thinking about the numbers anymore. And that's the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think
Yay.
about numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We have no nutritional facts. People ask us why, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you're eating a well-balanced diet. And when you're in tune with your body, you'll know. Like if I were to have oatmeal with a glass of fruit juice in the morning, I would crash. I would start to have shakes within half an hour. And people don't even recognize that's not normal when they feel that way, because they just take a pill or they do something to get through that.
Yeah.
So
Amen
you want me to
all of those things. Yes.
You want me to blow your
Mama Z.
mind just a minute? We had a guy work for us to help build our fence and stuff like that. And he worked for a company. This is local. It's $1 billion industry around the world. And his job, he'd get to work and he would power wash his body and put a hazmat suit on. And this company provides the animal feed for all conventionally raised animals, all different kinds. So his job was to, while he's wearing this, toxic chemical suit, to take the liquid formaldehyde, 2 other toxic chemical powders, combine them together into granules, and then add them to whatever animal feed that they would put it in. And this company is like 30 miles from where we live. And you go on to their Facebook page and you almost don't even believe that this is even possible. And so many of the people, he said, had to leave. They were getting nosebleeds, these intense migraine headaches, and they're wearing these hazmat suits and then they're power washing off. But this is all from conventional stuff. And this is what the animals are eating. They say, oh, this protects you from having things hatch, in the feed and from salmonella. But what about all the toxic chemicals that the animals are taking in? And, for people who just, see an interview or whatever, and they're like, oh, I just need to eat more animal products, but they're not really looking at what actually they need to do. So they're just going and getting whatever at the store. You're consuming all of this and just completely destroying your toxic load.
Oh, that is frightening. Frightening.
Yeah.
I actually did a talk a couple of years ago at Parker seminar in Vegas where I came out in a hazmat suit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I was talking about toxins, because, when you look at this, it is really the scariest thing out there are toxins, and they're sneaking in. I always talk about sugar sneaking into places, but toxins are one of the key places that they're sneaking in. Let's face it, a lot of our beauty products, skincare products. So I'd love to go there a little bit with you, Sabrina, because here you are. You just literally just got crowned Mrs. Georgia, and you are flat out gorgeous. You're 41 years old, so you got to be using something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we make a lot of our own products, and we're blessed to use Anna Maria skincare, and also both of my makeup artists are very conscious with all of that. And so everything that we use on my face is organic. Most of the time it's vegan. And if you even just think about one product alone, let's just talk about mascara. You're putting bat poop on your eyes. It is, if you are using conventional mascara, you're putting bat poop on your eyes. And, I'm sure anybody that's vegan is probably like freaking out right now. But so there is.
I think everybody's freaking out right now. Not just forget just vegan.
So the thing is, and I've done the research, and there are so many other good products out there that we can use, and utilizing the environmental working group is a great place for people to start. Finding a company or companies that you really like, because the biggest thing that people ask me is, there's this cross between wearability and, the natural components. But when we, as women, are leaving our house with hundreds of chemicals on our body, we have to just think, like our skin is the largest organ of our body. So like we have to be very conscious of what we put on our skin. And then it's also important to straight up wash your face, because so many people leave their makeup on their face at night. And, again, that mascara, if you look at an eye that has had mascara left on overnight, the mites that grow within that
Ew.
nighttime, it's actually disgusting. It's a microbiology experiment right there on your eyeballs. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. So don't go to sleep like that. So, utilizing essential oils, we've created a lot of different products. I make my own eye makeup remover, and it is absolutely amazing. It smells like Thanksgiving. And there are so many different things that we have at our fingertips these days that 15 years ago, we just didn't know, or we just didn't know that was an option. And if we focus on using those natural products on our skin, we are taking a great stride to making our bodies more receptive to the foods that we eat and living a more healthy, natural lifestyle.
And that might have sounded like this total, like, where's JJ going with this? We're talking about the essential oils diet. But if you are using these toxic things on your skin's a sieve, they can interrupt your hormones. They can make you store fat. They can make you more insulin resistant. They can lower your thyroid function. So these things matter. And that's why I was so excited when I saw this. I went, oh my gosh, all right, because you guys have been doing essential oils for years. You're one of our go-to experts here at the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show. And so I love this whole idea of this essential oils diet and showing some of this do-it-yourself stuff you can do. So let's dig a little deeper into the essential oils and how they can help here and why you wrote this book.
Yeah, it all boils down to what we call leaky skin. And
Ooh.
Right? Have we talked about that yet?
No.
Oh, why aren't we talking about leaky skin?
I don't know.
But you know where I'm going with this,
Eric.
right?
Oh, yes. This is so exciting.
So you have the gut microbiome. We all know about the gut microbiome. Ad nauseum, everyone's talking about the gut microbiome for years, but you have as many, if not more, bacteria on your skin. I mean, that is what your skin is. I mean, so when you look at the microbiome on our skin, it's being annihilated by the products that we put on our skin. And so what it's causing is micro slits, little like what we think of as leaky gut. Leaky skin is causing chemicals to penetrate into our bloodstream. And this is the problem. Okay, well, what's the big deal? Inflammation. And that's another buzzword that we really trying to educate people. Like, inflammation isn't bad. Like, first of all, you cut yourself, which I have a tendency to do. I'm that guy who doesn't use a cutting board. I use a knife, and I have an avocado in my hand, and that's just my nature sometimes. And so I cut myself. Well, thank God for inflammation, because blood shunts to the area. It oozes. It starts to puff up. The brain signal says, hey, there's pain. There's damage. Be careful. Don't do this again, you idiot. And next thing you know, things start to heal. Well, inflammation is the body's natural response to an assault. So the problem is chronic inflammation. And when you're putting on your skin, when you're consuming things that create this toxic something SOS 911 response, that's the bottom line. SOS 911, the body responds via inflammation. It's a healing mechanism, and we've only been designed to have that healing mechanism temporarily. Again, you cut your finger. If you keep on cutting your finger in the same spot, it's going to cause a significant problem. And so what happens is we keep on putting these skincare products on our body, keep on eating the foods that we shouldn't be eating. The body becomes essentially destroyed internally from chronic inflammation. And that's what we're trying to help people recognize is let's use these natural physiological mechanisms to our advantage and stop the onslaught, stop the abuse. And that's a hard word, but coming from alcohol abuse, drug abuse, my own life, I use that word because it scares people. We're oftentimes abusing ourselves and we don't know it. And part of the book is about emotional detoxification, falling in love with yourself again, realizing you're worth it and doing the things that you need to do so you really stop this onslaught and so your body can start to heal from the inside out.
So what are a couple takeaways from the book that you can share that may have people going? Because I think you've already talked about bat poop mascara. That's definitely aha. And the idea of this leaky skin, which I just love. And the fact that these things that we are putting in our body and putting on our body can actually be causing us to not be able to lose weight or even gain weight. What are a couple of the tips that you have in the book?
Oh, for people that need a help over the hump, and there's a hump, there's a plateau. Maybe you've tried whatever. You're on keto, you're doing paleo, you're vegan, raw, whatever. You find yourself like plateauing. You're not reaching your health goals. We have really found that essential oils can help people get through that. And so a bunch of different things, like using peppermint to boost your energy, using cinnamon bark to balance your blood sugar to help with cravings. It's really fun. It's kind of exciting too. And one thing that Sabrina has used extensively during her training for the pageant is using citrus essential oils to boost your body's natural antidepressive and fat burning mechanism. Like literally just smelling lime and smelling grapefruit.
Wow.
Smell lime. Smell grapefruit has been proven to stimulate lipolysis, which is fat breakdown. So just by incorporating these little things, now I'm not saying that if you open up your bottle of lime, it's going to cause you to drop 50 pounds next week, but we've seen people just helping them through that little hump, that little area, applying Mama Z's fat burning wrap over their thighs or underarms or tummy, whatever the problem areas might be. Incorporating these essential oils as part of their daily life can really make a difference.
Wow, that is super cool. Now, I'm sure all of this is in the book, right? The essential oils diet.
Yes.
Of course.
Cool.
With recipes and everything.
Yes.
Yes. Yay. And I know.
Stories.
Awesome. Plus, when they buy the book, you also have a special bundle where they get all sorts of cool stuff. Let's walk through what they get. And I'm going to share with everybody. You can get this at jjvirgin.com/EO diet. That's for essential oils diet. And when you buy the book, you'll be able to get this awesome bundle of cool stuff. And what's the cool stuff they're going to get?
Well, videos, Mama Z walking you through how to make some of the recipes, Mama Z walking you through how to do every one of the exercises, because we have an exercise program, a couple ebooks, all that's cool. But you know what the best thing is? We have a 60-day challenge group, over 2,000 people, a private group coaching program that we have started that anyone can start. It's open enrollment anytime, and we walk people through a 60-day journey. And research has shown, JJ, and whoever said it takes 2-3 weeks to develop a habit's a liar, because research has shown it takes 66 days on average. So yeah, one person might be able to change their way of life in a day. Like me, other people needs to take a couple months. So you give us 2 months, and I'll tell you, your taste buds will change, your hormones will balance, your way of life, if you're willing, will be transformed. So you will enjoy a lifelong, sustainable, healthy, tasty way of life that you could be happy with. This isn't a diet yo-yo. This isn't a merry-go-round. This isn't a cheat day mentality. So we want to give people a 60-day group coaching gift, because what's the point of reading a book if you can't implement it, right?
Right.
And the great thing about it is that they have all these other people that are going through the same progress and they're going through the same things at the same time. And so they can not only just lean on each other, because they may or may not have the support at home. And so it's so important to have a group, a community, a natural living family that they're able to grow and learn together, because that's where the magic happens.
I so agree with you. In fact, people ask me, well, how do I make sure I get the results? I go, you go find people that are where you are or ahead of you, and you spend that time with them. That's right. One of the biggest keys to success. So I love that you put that in as part of it. And again, jjvirgin.com/EO diet. And hey, first of all, big congratulations, Sabrina, on your win.
Thank you.
We will all be cheering you on in August for your competition.
Well, what about me? I'm Mr. Georgia now. Come on.
Yeah, there you
Without
go.
a Mr., there's no Mrs. I'm training for Mr. America, y'all. No.
You should have heard him, after I won the evening gown competition. He said, "Did you see how I handed you off? I won that competition."
They had the husbands escort them off. And it's like, anyway.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a family win.
So I may put that award on his dresser.
Thank you. New sash.
There you go. Okay. I bet you looked awesome in the tux, right?
Yes.
You did.
I'm going to take what you said. I'm going to make some action steps so people can just take action on it. So stick with me. Okay. So now I want to give you just kind of send you off with your, what is it called? Your marching papers? Is it called marching papers? Anyway, I want to make sure I give you some action items to take from this episode. First of all, definitely want to grab the essential oils diet. And when you do, you'll get all of those awesome bonuses that Dr. Z talked about. And you can find out more about that at jjvirgin.com/EO diet. I'm also going to put there the link to the environmental working group so you can check that out, as well as links to a couple of my favorite non-toxic products. Now, Sabrina mentioned Anne-Marie Gianni's skincare. We love us that over here. And in fact, when I was moving to Tampa and moving into my new place, it was like I got the big love box of that and my goodness from My Green Fills and my buddy Stephen Ziel. So I'm going to link out some of my favorites there as well, because what I thought was really important, one of the key takeaways here, is to really understand that weight loss is not a calories in, calories out issue. And I've talked about this so many times. You've been around, I say your body's not a bank account. It's a chemistry lab. Weight loss is a hormonal issue. And one of the things that can really mess up your personal chemistry lab are toxins. And one of the key places we get those is by what we put on our skin. And especially for women, I want you to really go in there and look at what you're putting on your skin. What are the skincare items you're using? What is the makeup you're using? And are you putting bat poop on your eyelashes? This was an eye-opener to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, bat poop. So let's look at what you can do to start to make those transitions if you haven't yet. And I'm going to share some of my favorites with you again in the show notes. You can grab those at jjvirgin.com/EO diet. Now, little quick reminder to subscribe so you do not miss any goodness, especially with all the new stuff we are doing around the community here with our Q&A Friday and extra shows. And while you're there, I'd love to get your input because, again, I design these shows based on the feedback I am getting. So if there's something you'd like to know more about, if there's a guest you'd love to see, etc., just let me know and I will go track them down. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you next time.
That's all for this episode of the JJ Virgin Lifestyle Show, which marks another step towards a healthier body and mind. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and we'll talk to you next week.